Everyone, I just wanted to make a movie or video about how an NJ is like from the point of getting it a couple days after, and some tips and tricks of kind of living with it. I've had mine for about over a month for a stomach condition, and an NJ goes past your stomach into your small intestine. They call this a Dobhoff tube. Mine's an 8 French. So basically the procedure to put it in, I was not sedated. You sit on a bed and they put some lidocaine jelly on the tip of my weighted tube and put some in your nose, and they put your head back and they start putting it in. And by the time it gets to your throat, you sip on some water through a straw. And at that point, I was gagging so bad that they pulled it out, even though it was in my stomach, and basically told me I had to gag through it. So they did it again, and I was gagging for a good 5 minutes or so. And it finally went away, and then I was, joking around with the nurses and everything, so it wasn't that bad. And then I had to wait around to put me into the IR department where they do fluoroscopy, and they put a little bit of contrast to your tube, and they push it all the way past your duodenum into your small intestine. And that took about, less than 5 minutes, and then they taped it to my nose. That sucked. But I'll tell you about that in a minute. I could talk for the first couple minutes that I had it. I was all set, fine to go home, and got home. Somewhere between the ride home, it moved from the side of my throat into the middle, and that's when I couldn't even talk without gagging so bad. And it's a gross feeling if you picture swallowing like a huge horse pill and it's stuck in your throat. It's just not fun. So I got home, and the whole rest of the day I couldn't talk without gagging. It only made me throw up once, so that's good, I guess. But that feeling after the first night went away, and I could talk the next morning. Still kind of felt weird. When you swallow, you'll feel it in the back of your throat, so you keep on swallowing. I found that if you get a just cup and spit your saliva in it, it's a lot easier to handle the first day. But that was what I did. And then a couple days after, probably about 3 days after, I couldn't barely feel it in my throat anymore. You get really used to it, basically, unless it moves up and down in my throat or tries to come out my nose a little bit. I forget it's there if you have it taped right. So the tape they used was just the normal roll of 3M, I forget what it's called, from the hospital, and they taped it on my nose. Now that made me gag even more. It's when I taped it to my cheek that it makes it so much better. So right now, I don't know if you can see, I'll come up closer. I have a Tender Grips right here, and then I have a strip of Tegaderm that I cut in half. I get both from my Apria service. The Tender Grips I put right here because if throughout the day the Tegaderm kind of wears off and it'll pull up right here, and when it does that, it doesn't feel as secure, and it kind of pushes in and out of my nose, and that gives a funny feeling to your throat. It's kind of weird. And the Tegaderm works great. I have sensitive skin. I don't break out from a rash, at least. I have acne anyway, but it doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't have any sticky residue, which is fantastic. I would recommend it for people, I guess. And it's clear, you can barely tell it's there. As far as the tube goes, I don't really have much complaints about the tube itself. Sometimes it does bother me. I did have to go back in to see if it moved and check the placement of it. Basically what they do then is they send you back to IR and they take an X-ray under putting contrast through your tube and make sure the placement's right. So no big deal. It was still where it's supposed to be, so you learn to stop freaking out about little things, I guess. I'm trying. But the biggest adjustment for me is trying to time the feeding and upping the rate. It's been a very slow process because I was at such a low weight. I was very high risk for refeeding, which is when your electrolytes get very imbalanced and you get sick from it. Right now I'm at a rate of 38, and my goal is 52 at 5 cans a day. I have gained a couple pounds, thank goodness, yay. My tube clogs like crazy. Basically, at least 1 to 4 times a day. I do flush it regularly. I flush it with at least almost 60 mils every time that I do it. Now I got the feed and flush bags, so it automatically flushes 10 to 15 milliliters, whatever I program it, through with my feed, and that has helped a lot. And I found an awesome tip finally for unclogging. It was seriously taking me anywhere from an hour to 5 hours to unclog my tube at a time, and that is not okay. So if you get your tube at first and they give you the 60 ml syringes, if you try to unclog it with that, it's going to take forever. I actually went in a week and a half ago to the hospital to get it unclogged, and the guy did it in 2 minutes with a 3 ml syringe. Those things are my miracle. If you're having trouble with clogs in your NJ and G tube, get a tiny, tiny syringe and get just a little bit of water in it, probably about that much, and push it through. It's going to squeeze out of this port right here. Just hold it shut and then suck back on it, and within like 5 minutes now my clog is out and I'm ready to hook back up. It's amazing. I keep everything in my backpack, which is right here. There's my Kangaroo Joey, and it comes out of here, this lovely fashionable thing. Right now I just have a regular bag because I'm lazy. And it's in there. Whoop-de-doo. And I just hang it on my IV pole next to my bed or wherever I'm at, because I have a dog and I have to get up all the time to go mess with her, so IV pole is not really an option for me. So to recap, for a new tube, the sensation of gagging will go away. It bothers me sometimes. I don't gag from it, just a weird feeling in your throat. Sleeping, I have found this awesome pillow behind me. It's like a, what do you call it, recliner kind of pillow, I guess. I take that and I prop pillows up around it, and it really helps sleep elevated, because if you sleep flat, you'll probably have some reflux or throw up from it, because it'll back up into your stomach eventually. And I suggest that. I love the Tender Grips, the Tegaderm. Get some 3 mil syringes. I now flush with 15 mil syringes after I get it unclogged. The 30 mils, the 60, are just kind of pointless to me at this point because it just doesn't really help. Other than that, it's not that bad. I am trying to keep this in until I absolutely need to get a J-tube. I have a feeling I'm going to need to be tube fed for a while, but I'll just keep on switching until nostrils until my sinuses can't handle it anymore. I have a cold right now, that's why I keep sniffling and stuff, and it's not too bad. My nose tends to bleed sometimes on my sinuses here, but all in all, it could be worse. My pros of an NJ tube versus a J right now is I do not want open surgery. My weight was at 84 when I got this in, and I'm up to 88 pounds, and I still would need to gain more even to recover well from surgery. So, and I don't want to deal with all that stoma infection and all that jazz, so I will deal with looking crazy with a tube out of my face. If you have any questions, feel free to message me or email me or whatever. And I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.